Hello and welcome to this demo. I'm going to give you a quick tour through the Smart Validator web interface and show you the core features. And I'm starting with the home section that consists of 4 elements that show information about the status of ROAS and BGP announcements. The first chart shows how many ROAS that your machine received just work fine, how many ROAS cause conflicts with some BGP announcements, and how many ROAS are filtered out by you. And the second element shows the RPKI status of BGP announcements, and it shows how many of them are valid, are invalid, or are unknown according to RPKI. And the third element also refers to that, and it shows exactly how many of the invalid BGP announcements have an invalid ASN number in fact, and how many have an invalid length. And it also shows how many of the unknown BGP announcements are covered by loose ROAS really. And the fourth element shows a conflict detection timeline, and that will fill up over time while the validator is running. The second thing I'm going to show you is the BGP preview. This shows the validity status that most likely will be assigned by the validator to all BGP announcements. And I can group that by validity, and for the invalid announcements you also have a detail view that shows exactly with which ROA a certain announcement collides, and I can view that all here. The next thing I want to show you is the prefix filter section. And here I can add prefix filters that will block a ROA for certain prefixes. And I also have a detail view in this section that shows which announcements are invalidated by a certain ROA. And if I block that, then it will be like there never existed a ROA for this announcements, and so all announcements that were invalidated by a ROA will be valid now. And I can see that there are no more announcements affected by this one. The next thing I want to show you is the whitelist section. And for that I'm first heading to the preferences, and I can choose if I want to preserve or remove ROAS, and I'm going to preserve them, and I'm enabling the learning mode of the validator. And the learning mode can whitelist BGP announcements that are in conflict but that have been around for several time, and I'm setting this for demonstration purposes to 0 days, but we can set that higher, and we would expect that they are not malicious if BGP announcements are around for several days. And this will add announcements that meet our requirements to the whitelist section, and this takes some time, so we will have to wait. And a whitelist entry is in fact the same as an artificial ROA, so it will validate announcements just like a ROA, but it can also invalidate other announcements like ROAs can. So you always have to be cautious with them. Yes, as I mentioned, this will take some time. And here we are, and now we see that a lot of ASN prefix pairs, a lot of announcements are added to the whitelist. And if I reload the page, I see that it's even getting more of them. And if I now head back to the home section, you can see that the filtered rower is in here that I filtered earlier, and that there are no rowers in conflict anymore, because according to our settings, every traveling rower was removed, and every invalid BGP announcements, which are also 0 now, has been added to the whitelist section. Yeah, that are the core features of the validator and how it works. And as I mentioned, over time there will be conflicts here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this demo and you're trying the validator yourself.